everyone, welcome back to Beats of the Soul. I hope you're all well. So I don't know about you, but I've been anticipating new music from Meg for a while now, and I'm not talking about features, like actual solo singles, her actual own projects. And I remember the lead up to the single because I love her reels where she showcases her workout. It's so inspiring, so motivating. Like, she just makes me want to get my ish together, and she looks good. She looks so good. So I remember there was one of her reels where she does her voiceovers that I was watching, and she was saying how, I can't remember like the exact words that she was using, but she was just basically saying how she needs to get snatched for a video that she's going to be shooting. I'm thinking, ooh, okay, so we're going to expect something real soon. We're going to get something real soon. So I'm assuming that she was talking about the Cobra music video. So it's exciting that she was teasing us for this new music, this new video. She was going all out, not just dropping a single, but giving us the visuals too.
I've been up for the past couple of days shooting this music video for y'all, so I really hope that y'all love it.
I just realized when I said how I've been anticipating music from her for a while now, it might have sounded a bit insensitive, because obviously I know she's been going through a lot over the past like 3 years now. So it wasn't like, bitch, you better drop music now. It was more like, oh, like I really want to hear new music from Meg, but I understand why we're not getting the music. Just to add a little disclaimer. So upon my first watch and listen, it was so weird. I had like a sensory overload. The music was just way too loud for me, like the actual instrumental, when I feel like I could barely hear her voice. I don't know if anyone else experienced that. I was watching it on my TV and I had it quite loud, but I was like, the equilibrium is all off. Like, I can't really hear her vocals. It was so weird. I don't really get that much when I listen to music. But then it's weird because as I listen to the video more and more to obviously analyze it, it's like my brain just got used to everything and kind of like found the equilibrium, because now when I listen to it, it doesn't feel like, oh my god, it's a sensory overload, like everything just sounds fine. So I don't know what that's all about, like what the science is behind that, but yeah, just thought I'd share that, and I just found that interesting. So for the first scene, I think it's interesting how we just see her mouth, and I think that focus on her mouth forces you to pay attention to what she's saying. So at this point she says, just as a snake sheds its skin, we must shed our past over and over again. So by those words alone, we know that the song is going to be deep. And then the way the guitar comes in after she says that is just everything. I love it. Then after that, the shot moves from Megan's mouth to her eyes, and the way that's done is sick. And they say that the eyes are the window to the soul. So for me, it's like we're getting an insight into Megan's soul. And then her eyes are even snake-like, and then the camera goes back to the mouth and we see her snake-like teeth. So I'm like, okay, Megan is a cobra. We then see the cobra shedding its skin and Meg crawling out of the cobra. So here I'm assuming that she is the cobra and a new version of herself is exiting the cobra. So the atmosphere doesn't look positive at all. There's no humans, which some may say is a good thing, but I don't think that is a good thing if she is human-like or if she's a cobra. Either way, I feel like the fact that there's no humans is an issue. The weather is dull and dark. And then Meg is face to face with another cobra. But just to add as well, before I expand on the fact that she's face to face with a cobra, I finished planning all my thoughts on Sunday, I think. But obviously as the days are going on, I'm seeing Megan do more promo for the video. So I think I saw a post yesterday where she uploaded how her crawling out of the snake is like an anime reference, and I really want to get into anime. So if any of you guys watch any anime, please let me know your recommendations on where I can watch it, because I want to be an anime babe. So it was sick how that was a reference, and obviously if you know, you'll get it, but obviously I don't watch anime, so I don't understand the reference like that, but I can see the reference visually from what she posted. So yeah, as I was saying, like, she's face to face with another cobra. So I feel like she's fearless facing another cobra, because these animals can be deadly. And on her Instagram, she posted the definition of a cobra. And it says, cobras exemplify courage and self-reliance. They stand tall and fierce in the face of challenges, teaching one to tap into their inner strength and rely on oneself to conquer their threats. Emulating the cobra helps one to be more confident in the person they are within. And I think that's so powerful, and I love the promo that she's doing, like defining a cobra so people can really understand and get a deeper deeper sense of what the song is about and what she's trying to convey to you. So I really like that. I like the design of the post as well. I just thought it was really nice. And then I also noticed how when we see her head to head with another snake, she raps, breaking down, and I had the whole world watching. So it makes me think, are we the people, are we as fans or consumers or onlookers of her, and the people in her lives who are like closer in proximity to her, like, are we the snakes? Are we the snakes going like head to head with her? Like, because she says the whole world is watching, and then she's face to face with another snake. So yeah, is that supposed to be a reflection of us? And then she says, but the worst part is really who watched me. So it's like, damn, like, who is she talking about here? And then it's so sad. Like, she's like, every night I cried, I almost died, and nobody close tried to stop me. Like, imagine crying every single night. Like, that just shows you're actually going through it. And then she says that she almost died. Like, we're hearing this song now, but we might not have. She literally almost died. And yeah, my heart just breaks for her. And then the fact that no one close tried to stop her, it's like, why is that? Why do we think that happened? Like, why did no one try to stop her? But then she says next, as long as everybody getting paid, right? Everything will be okay, right? I'm winning, so nobody tripping. And it just reminds me of the whole thing that, like, sometimes you just feel like no one actually cares. And as long as the money is getting paid, people actually don't care what your mental state is. People don't care what you're going through. As long as you're doing what needs to be done for them, that's all that matters. Money talks. Money makes the world go round. If you want change, sometimes you have to affect the bag. You have to stop the money, because money affecting people's bag will get them to fix up, or get them to listen, or really get them to like pay attention to what's going on. And it's just like a reflection of our capitalist society and how, you know, money can really affect us for the worse. Like, this girl is really talking about how she's almost died and how she's crying every night, but no one is helping her, no one's stopping her. And yeah, people are just focused on the money. And people just think, oh, everything will be okay. They probably don't see it as an issue, because if she's doing things that allow her to get paid, then people are probably thinking, oh, well, you can't really be that bad. Like, the money's still coming in, so it's not like you're just not doing anything and there's no money coming in, so how serious can it be? And just as she says she's winning, so nobody's tripping. And it's like, all that glitters is not gold. Just because you're doing well in a certain area of life doesn't mean that everything is all handy dandy. Like, you really have to pay attention to not just people's like career wins, but how they are in other aspects of their life, because it all goes hand in hand. And then when she says, bet if I fall off, everybody go missing, the other snake is no longer there. So I thought that was really clever, like the visuals matching the lyrics. It's just her. She is the cobra. And the weather becomes even darker, which mirrors the lyrics. And then the scene change to scene 3 is just too clean. So as the transition into the next scene happens, Meg raps, at night I'm sitting in a dark room thinking. And again, I love how the set design mirrors the lyrics. The ceiling looks like a full moon with dark clouds surrounding it. And I thought that was really interesting. So I wonder if, I'm assuming that was intentional. I think everything is intentional and has a purpose. You've just got to derive meaning from it. Did you guys notice how there's 3 snakes slithering around her? And I was trying to think to myself, like, what could that mean? Does it reflect the people close to her who are causing her harm? Because obviously the bedroom is a very intimate place. Like, not just any Tom, Dick and Harry is going to end up in your room, in a room with you. Well, for some people, but the majority of people off the street aren't going to end up in your room. But you could walk past hella people in your daily life, but not everyone is invited into that intimate space. So to me, it kind of feels like, hey, the 3 snakes slithering around her probably reflects like people close to her who are causing her harm. And then the black design on the walls looks like scales to me, and then they cover the grey walls as the scene goes on, and it just reflects how her circumstances and her mental state are worsening. It's powerful the way Meg looks into the camera when she says, yes, I'm very depressed. And when she says slit they wrist, I don't know, when she's rapping like this, I don't know if this is her current state of mind or how she has been feeling for the past 3 years. But I feel like if it's her current state of mind, then I feel like this video is really a cry for help, because the things that she's talking about and the way she's looking at the camera is like she really wants you to understand what she's going through, and she's expressing herself through her art. And really, in the same breath, even if she's not in this current state of mind, I feel like the effect is still the same. It's not a cry for help, but she still wants you to understand what she has been through. So I think doing things like looking into the camera, having the set mirror like what she's rapping about, even if you're not able to pick up on the little cues, I feel like the devil works hard, but the subconscious works harder. So whether you're consciously aware of it, your subconscious is still taking in these messages some way, somehow. And throughout this whole video, I just want to give Meg a hug and just tell her everything will be okay. But then it also makes you think about, okay, like you feel like this for Meg, but what about the people in your life? How I'm recognizing all these little symbolisms in the video and stuff. Like, how can we recognize these symbolisms in like people that we actually know, like people in our actual lives? So that could be, I don't know, people might post certain things on social media, like, I don't know, sharing a story about like anxiety and depression and how to support, and you think, oh, they might just be like sharing that so other people can be aware of like what to do if they're feeling like that, but they could be sharing it because that's actually what they are going through, and their posts could like reflect their cries for help. So I think we have to like kind of look just how we would analyze like a song or a music video or a movie. Like, we have to analyze how the people closest to us move in their lives, and then even if we're wrong, I still feel like it's better to be safe than sorry. Just be like, oh, I saw you posted this, like, are you okay? Like, is everything okay? Like, is there anything I can do to support you? And maybe they know there is nothing you can do to support them, but just you reaching out or just them knowing that you're actually there for them, I feel like will make all the difference. And Meg says, probably why I always end up drinking. Yes, I'm very depressed. And yeah, I think over the years, like there's some people who've like criticized Megan's drinking behavior, or some people who encourage it, like, yes, drive the boat. But I feel like there's people who've recognized that her drinking can be like quote unquote excessive, or they perceive it to be excessive. But I feel like in this video, in this song, we're getting an explanation as to why her drinking is the way it is. So I feel like it's her depression that's fueling her drinking behaviors, and it must feel like a coping mechanism for her. For some people, it's alcohol, food, sex, drugs, watching and consuming different types of content, porn. Like, you can be addicted to anything, and that's just like the poison that she's chosen. And then it's sad, like when she says, how can somebody so blessed want to slit their wrist? Like, it's like when people always complain like, oh, but rich people, like, you have nothing, you should be so grateful, like, you have all this money, like, you have no problems. And it's like, I don't care how rich you are, how quote unquote blessed you are, how successful you are in certain aspects of your life. It doesn't matter what your circumstances are, you still have the capacity to be depressed. Yes, you could be blessed in other areas and not depressed in certain areas, but you don't know what's going on in someone's life. Just because you're rich, money doesn't solve everything, unfortunately. I wonder if she even blames herself, because she's questioning that she's blessed, but she wants to like slit her wrist. So I'm like, I hope she's not battling that within herself. And I think that's a lot of rhetoric that people in society spew, like, oh, but you're blessed, so just get on with life, like, you should be grateful. But it's like, no, you still have the right to feel how you feel. Money doesn't fix those kind of things. And I thought it was clever writing how she was saying, I probably bleed out some Pinot, which implies that she's drinking so much that if she was to slit her wrist, wine would pour out. Do you know how much you have to be drinking to imagine that actually happening? So yeah, I feel like that just shows the gravity of her situation. And then she says, when they find me, she's in Valentino. It's like she's saying, well, if I'm going out, I might as well go out in style. And then kind of what I was saying before, like, people always think, oh, like, driving the boat, things are good, things are fun. She says, he pouring me shots, thinking it's lit. Ha, little did he know. It's like, sometimes people can be like, they think you love alcohol, they think it, it's lit, it's a good time, but they could be enabling you, and they might not pick up on the cues that actually this is a problematic substance for you, that I actually shouldn't be encouraging you to drink. But yeah, it's hard, because obviously if people aren't able to pick up on certain signs, or if people aren't communicating to you like how they actually feel, then you are gonna think it's lit. So in this scene, she's saying this pussy depressed while she's in a box, shedding her skin with onlookers watching her, who to me look like The Walking Dead. Like, these people do not look like they're in good condition at all. And when I saw this, it just immediately got me thinking, like, imagine being depressed, but you're depressed like on a stage. You're depressed with people watching what you're going through. And it kind of reminds me of like, these people look like the Walking Dead, which implies that they're not in a good mental state or physical state in their lives, yet they're still like taking pictures of her. It's like her depression is their entertainment when they're a mess themselves. And I feel like this kind of message is always like portrayed on social media, like how we judge like public figures on social media and criticize their lives. But if you have the time to be, I don't know, spewing hate in comments and really taking the time to make certain criticisms about people, some may say that's a reflection of what you're going through in life, and you're just taking it out or projecting that out onto other people. And it's kind of like the show must go on kind of vibe. She's literally in a box, depressed, but it's like she's almost like performing for these people, entertaining these people when she is a mess. And it goes back to her other bar before, early in the song, where she's like, as long as everybody getting paid, right, everything will be okay, right, I'm winning, so nobody tripping. It literally links back to that line. She then looks into the camera again when she says, damn, I got problems. So like I said before, when I was talking about how she looks into the camera earlier on in the scene, she's doing it again. So she really wants for you to get the message that she is going through it. And then she said she thought a bitch like her would never reach rock bottom. And then it got me thinking, like, I wonder why she thought that. And not in a way to be like, oh, who do you think you are? Like, of course you were going to hit rock bottom. It was more like in a way like, oh, like what made you think that you would never reach rock bottom? Because if it's one thing, like, life has taught me that never say stuff like, oh, it can never be me, because the universe, God, ancestors, whoever you believe in will in fact show you that it can be you. So I'm just curious to know why she thought she would never reach rock bottom. And then while she talks about reaching rock bottom, notice how she's still in that box with the crowd of onlookers, like they're just there. And I don't know if I've ever reached rock bottom in my life, but I know I've definitely had low. I have had very low moments, and I couldn't imagine doing that with a crowd of onlookers. And this is one of the things that like really makes me feel bad for celebrities. Like, I don't envy their life. I don't want their life. And I know some people probably thinking, ugh, like the celebrities, like they have everything. Like, why are you feeling sorry for them? And it goes back to my point before, like, just because you're blessed, you can still want to slit your wrist. Like the two aren't like, is the term mutually exclusive or inextricably linked? Like, just because you're blessed doesn't mean you're never going to face like strife or problems, or never going to feel like suicidal. Like, they're not related. And in this case, yeah, like I just couldn't imagine being rock bottom and then having to do that in front of people. To be fair, it probably exacerbates the symptoms as well. And yeah, the life of a celebrity is not easy. And then Meg looks into the camera when she says, man, I miss my parents. So I feel like when she's looking to the camera, it's a sign that you really need to pay attention to what she's saying. I mean, for the whole song, you need to pay attention, but especially those moments where she's looking into the camera. My heart just goes out to her. I've experienced loss, but I don't feel like I've ever experienced grief in my life. And I don't know how I would cope if I did. Like, I've lost people, but not people who are super, super close to me. So my heart goes out to anyone who is experiencing grief. And how I've heard people talk about it, like, I'm reading Sista by Candice Braithwaite at the moment. And I've heard other people talk about grief. But in her book, she has a whole chapter on grief, like how she lost her dad and like how she navigated the whole grieving period even to this day. If you haven't read that book, I definitely recommend it. But yeah, just how she's talked about grief, how other people talk about grief, is just something that is never going to go away, unfortunately. And it's just like a pain you have to manage throughout your whole life. But in her book, she kind of talks about how she views death now, and how like her dad dying, like, you know, really made her realize her mortality and made her really go for her dreams. But yeah, very interesting read. But I think my point is to say just like the difference between grief and loss, and I can't relate to her, but I'm sure anyone who's lost someone and who's grieving someone will be able to relate to Megan losing both her parents. Like that is a lot. And I just hope that, I don't know like what she does in her personal life, like if she has therapy about it, or if she's in any support groups where she's spoken to or continues to speak to other people who have lost their parents. But if she's not doing that, I think maybe that could be helpful. But yeah, it's just so sad. And I think the loss of her parents, like, you know, affects her negatively in so many ways in her life. And the fact that she's always anxious, that she says she's anxious, and that she always cancels her plans. Now that I can relate to. Like, that literally happened to me this month. Yeah, anxiety, woof, anxiety is a crazy feeling. Way it can make you think, act. It's not nice. It is not nice. And I hate how part of my brain just like loves the tea, love like drama, entertainment. Because I don't know if it's like a human nature thing. Because I know obviously back in the day, people would do everything. They'd probably be like the town crier, or the, you know, like in Bridgerton when you've got like the little person who's spreading the tea through that newspaper. Like I feel like, I wonder how, like, has gossip always been a thing, or like the tea, has that always been a thing since like caveman times, or like when did that start becoming a part of our like our makeup? This next bar is what made me like watch the video as quickly as I did. Obviously it's Meg. I love her. I was always going to watch the video, listen to the song, but when I was scrolling on Twitter and like saw what people were talking about, I was like, wait, I need to go and like watch this now. But I think she obviously knows that, and her team probably know that that is what people are going to like hook onto and gravitate to. But it's funny because even though that's the thing that made me watch the video, it's like one of the last things I think about of the whole video. So yeah, I know I'm not that far gone. So I feel like if that's the only thing that I took away from the video, then I would need serious help. But she says, pulled up, caught him cheating, getting his dick sucked in the same spot and sleeping. Do you know how wild that is? You know how wild that is? Look at what all I've just talked about, all the dark things she's been going through. And then another thing on top of that. So obviously everyone's speculating or alluding to the fact that she's talking about Pardi here, who was her partner. And then the fact that he did like some Instagram stories like after the song came out of like a Future meme and then a Tristan Thompson meme.
It's an evil world we live in.
Which is wild. Like he's just like fueling the fire, and a lot of people are guessing at him. And I think, yeah, I don't know why he posted those memes. I don't think that's very nice at all. And the fact that she was cheated on, and the fact that it was done so disrespectfully, like in a place where she sleeps, like, I'm just infuriated for her. She then says, Lord, give me a break. I don't know how much more of this I can take. And then she looks into the camera again, and I completely relate to her. I hear it. You know those times when you feel like you're just getting one misfortune after another, and you're just like, oh my gosh, can I get a break? Like I can't. If I just get one more misfortune, like I'm actually gonna lose it. I'm gonna break. I'm going to crumble.
I need to take it easy, otherwise I'm gonna lose it.
But I guess like what I've learned through reading books like The Obstacle is the Way by Ryan Holiday, I would definitely check that out if you haven't read it, or just through going through life and like as I'm getting older and wiser, like if you want to survive, like you actually have to kind of like trick your mind to see some kind of light in the darkness, some sort of benefit in the darkness, in the misfortune. So like all this crap that she's going through, you have to spin it in a way that's like, okay, it's going to make me stronger. Look, I'm able to create this amazing music that people are going to relate to. Like it's awful that I'm going through all of these things, but what are the benefits? And I feel like that is one of the hacks of life, because if you don't like trick your mind into seeing the benefit of it, you will be like suicidal and potentially even like act on those thoughts, or will be even more suicidal, should I say, because I feel like even when you do like flip your mind to see the benefits, you can still have those suicidal thoughts, but you're less likely to actually act on it. And I feel like there's multiple times throughout this song, obviously, where she does seem suicidal, has ideations, but I'm glad that she's still here today. And then there's another bar where she says, honestly, it kind of feel like you plotting. And then the switch where she opens her mouth and then you see the cobra's mouth again, it feels like she's about to unleash a venomous attack. Like, don't play with her. She is going to defend herself. Like, it's enough now. Like, imagine feeling like one of the closest people to you is plotting against you. It's scary. So scary. The scene switches throughout this video. I really like the way they're all done. It's a beautiful set design, beautiful hair and beautiful styling. And then she talks about how someone is speaking on her at her lowest and then acting like they don't notice what she's going through. And again, it's just, my heart just goes out to her. Like, imagine someone seeing you at a really low point, but then they're acting like what you're going through doesn't even exist. Like, whew, that would really mess me up. And how I was saying in the previous scene, like, where all the crowd that are looking at her, the onlookers who look like the Walking Dead, it looks like their circumstances have worsened. They're restricted by this rope-like material, and it looks like it's about to suffocate them. It reminds me of Harry Potter. But yeah, they're literally restricted by this rope, look like they're like suffocating on death's door, but they still have the energy to be focusing on Meg and then taking their pictures. So again, it just goes back to the point that I was saying, like, people will be going through so much crap and negativity in their lives, but they still have the time to be, you know, finding entertainment in other people's misfortunes. And it's like, maybe you should focus on yourself a bit more. Meg says, I'm killing myself when bitches would die to be me. Bars! I feel like it's bars, but it's like, it's a flex, but it's a sad flex. Even though you're suicidal, people still want your life, but then it's sad because you're suicidal and people shouldn't want that. Do you know what I mean? So it's a flex, but a weird, sad flex. And then after she says that, we see one of the people who's being restricted, their head goes down completely. So to me, I was thinking, oh, are they dead? Does this reflect them dying to be like her? Like she just said? Like, Again, I love the styling, the hair, the makeup, the choreography. But the weather is still dark, which implies that she is still going through it. And I was thinking to myself, like, okay, there's choreography, I love it, but is it out of place when she's talking about it's such a dark song? And I was thinking maybe it's not out of place, because just like I've been saying throughout this whole video and how the lyrics have been saying, like when she's like, as long as everybody getting paid, right, everything will be okay, right, I'm winning so nobody tripping. Like her dancing could reflect her like performing still, giving you a performance even though she's going through it. And like I said, she's in the box and there's all these people watching her still. She's going through it, but she's still a source of entertainment. So the dancing could be like another reflection of that. She's dancing through the pain. Maybe the dancing is even healing her. Probably sick of me saying this now, but I loved, again, the styling, the hair, the makeup, the choreography. And I was thinking, is she on Mars? Because that kind of red, brownish sand always reminds me of Mars. But I know we have that on Earth as well. Notice how she's in the middle of a spiral shape. Does this reflect how she's spiraling in her life? Then she says, back outside. Yeah, back in motion. So maybe I was thinking, okay, maybe it's not Mars, but it's actually Earth, because she outside, she's in motion. And then I can see how the weather has improved, but then it cuts back to the isolating dark weather when she says, he keep calling. So it reminds me of how, like, when a toxic person or someone who has done you a lot of harm and wrong in your life is like trying to still get back in contact with you and is like dragging you back to this dark place. But then she says, I ignore it, and it transitions back to Earth where the weather is better. So it implies that, no, she's not going back to this toxic place. Like, she knows her worth. She's not going to stay in that. She's not going to stay in that toxicity at all. And then we see how she takes accountability by acknowledging her crazy. When she says, he say I'm crazy. Don't I know it? So I feel like she takes accountability there for her crazy. You could argue that she takes accountability when she says, this pussy depressed, yeah, I'm about to stress him. So she's taking accountability for how her depression is causing her to act and stress someone out. And then after she talks about her crazy, we see more choreography and there's no vocals, just the instrumental. And it feels like we're there with her because we can hear wind-like sounds. And I think that effect where it's just quite quiet is really powerful, and I just really want to hear this song live. Like when you could just hear the instrumental, it forces you to pay attention to like other things, so like the instrumental, the visuals, etc. And all the guitarists out there, I really want to see your covers to this song. You know, like when a song goes viral and then all the singers start covering it, I'm gonna need all the guitarists to come through. Like I really want to hear it because I think the guitar on this song is sick. Shout out to whoever did the guitar on this song. So at the end, we see everything we've just seen flash before us. And it reminds me of when people say, oh, when you die, it's like your life, like your whole entire life just like flashes before you in that way. It kind of implies to me like, oh, did Meg die and like have a rebirth? Because after that, it ends with the word Cobra. And I love the typography and the graphic design. And like I talked about earlier, Meg posted the definition of Cobra on her Instagram. So I do feel like this kind of reflects a rebirth, a new Meg. So maybe I don't think this video is a cry for help. I think it's literally just showing you what she has been through in these past few years. And I feel like she's on the up. But obviously healing isn't linear, so some of this stuff may still ring true every now and again. But I feel like if she released this song in like 2021, 2022, I'd be a bit worried, or be even more worried. I still am low-key a bit worried, but I think she released it in the height of like certain things that we knew she was definitely going through. Whew, yeah, I'd be a lot more worried. But I still think as fans, as people who like consume her content, we should like look out for her. And obviously those who are actually close to her need to do the same, or they can actually do more than we can do. I think it's very intentional how we see the word cobra at the end of the video, because she wants us to know that she is that definition of the cobra that she posted on her Instagram. And then at the end we see a story by Meg. So I feel like shout out to you, girl, for coming up with the story, because I feel like it's so creative. I feel like the story is absolutely amazing. Like I could just watch the video on loop, and not just because I wanted to do an analysis. It's genuinely a very powerful and beautiful video. And it was directed by Douglas. Shout out to you, Douglas. You did that. And then just when you think the video is over, we see another shot of Meg with a cobra wrapped around her, reinforcing again that she is everything a cobra embodies. So this video was just sensational. I loved all of the looks, loved the set design. I can't fault the video at all. I wonder what the budget was, because you can obviously see there's a lot of like visual effects, special effects, all the different looks, all the different set designs. I think, yeah, so beautiful. Just such a powerful, thought-provoking video. And I loved analysing this. It was so much fun. It made me think, like, I loved English literature back in school. I got an A in GCSE, and A star in GCSE and an A in A level, which to me reflects how my talent and skill level in that subject. And I just so grateful for the teachers that I had, and they were very good teachers, because I actually used to be, sorry, the mic, I just moved the mic. But I used to be really bad at English, and then I remember my teacher moving me next to one of my like school friends, and she was very smart and very good at English. And I feel like I always used to tell her, like, in school, you're the reason why I'm good at English. And obviously that teacher, for making that smart decision to move me next to her, it's like she saw something, she knew my potential. So yeah, like ever since then, like I've just been so sick at English literature, and I just love analysing things. Like, I'm just so grateful for that subject, because we really, really analyse things. And I feel like that helps when I do like music reviews, and it's just made me like a very observant, part of the reason why I'm a very observant person and why I love to analyse things. Because yeah, I feel like if I didn't do this review, I would have just looked at the videos from a very surface level, or just saw like the whole like Pardi drama and then focus on that bit. But actually analysing it from start to finish, like it really makes you appreciate it in a whole another way. So let me know your thoughts. Let me know if there's any other messages that I didn't pick up on, because I know I didn't analyse like every single word or every single little thing in the video. So if there's other things that you picked up on that I didn't cover, please let me know in the comments. I would love to hear your thoughts and have a discussion with you. If you have different interpretations from the things that I did cover, let me know as well, because I feel like the beauty of this stuff is like, well, obviously the artist might have a certain intention and symbolism, but everything is still open to interpretation. So no one is like wrong or right per se. So yeah, if you do have any other interpretations, please do let me know. And there probably will be more things that I've missed, because like just how I saw Meg post the anime reference yesterday, she might be posting more stuff like that. So it'd be interesting to see how else she promotes the video. And I hope that we get a behind the scenes, because I feel like that would be sick to see how it all came together. So yes, let's have a discussion in the comments. I'm a geek for this kind of stuff. But thank you so much for taking the time to listen to my review, my analysis, my commentary. If you like this video, please like, comment, subscribe and share if you haven't already. And I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much for listening. Bye. Also forgot to say, actually, this is my 100th video. I was gonna plan to do another video for my 100th video, but I just wanted to get this video out like as soon as possible. So yeah, shout out to you, Meg, for being my 100th video. Okay, bye for real now. Take care.